All right, good morning, everyone. We're here for criminal motion hearings this morning. I'm Judge Blake Adams. Today is January 19th. We have Ms. Benia from the state via Zoom. Good morning. I believe you got.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. All right, and I have Ms. Armpriester from the Public Defender's Office in the courtroom. Good morning. Ms. Armpriester, do you have any clients in the courtroom that we can address first?
No, Your Honor, I believe my only client's actually in custody, so I wanted to see how we were going to do that.
Since your client is in custody,
Would you like me to do a notice of hearing for 2:15?
yes,
Maybe.
you may. Is that with Ms. Benia or Mr. Stewart? Do you know?
That I don't know.
All right. What's the name on it? Martinez?
Yes, Mr.
Case number 20MM1994.
He would like to testify, that's the only issue.
Okay. Looks like that is with Mr. Stewart, who seems to be having problems connecting.
Something tells me we have something else set, Mr. Stewart and I, at 2:15, but I could be confusing that for another day.
Okay. You want to set it for this afternoon?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Benia, do you have any objection to us moving Mr. Martinez to the 2:15 docket?
Judge, I believe this case belongs to Mr. Stewart. If we could just give it a moment, he should be able to get on soon. I do see that he is on, but I'm not sure if it's a connection issue. So if we can address this matter in a moment, and I can get a hold of Mr. Stewart.
Right. All right, we'll recall it. Give us a moment, Ms. Armpriester.
I'm sorry.
Give us a moment.
Sure,
We'll
yeah.
recall it to have Mr. Stewart here. All right. And then I have another attorney in the courtroom. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Greg Mangone on behalf of Hannah Miller. She's on page 5, I believe.
And Judge, I'm hearing from Ms. Woodley that her Zoom isn't working either.
Okay. All right. Come on up, Mr. Mangone. All right. Again, this is Hannah Miller, case number 20CT1568.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
What Your Honor, is Ms. Miller, she's going to be withdrawing her previously answered plea of not guilty, Your Honor, to no contest to the DUI. It is her first offense.
Okay.
The terms that the state has agreed to was an adjudication of guilt, $500 fine, 12-month driver's license suspension, 12 months probation, early term after 6. I was going to ask you to reduce that actually, Your Honor. DUI school and the no alcohol, the hours, and the impoundment. I think that's about it.
VIP.
Yes, Your Honor. It's in fact for cost of prosecution. The state, Your Honor, they're basically minimums, but I'm asking Your Honor to consider 6 months probation instead of 12. Ms. Miller does support herself, lives by herself, works 2 jobs. She's been very diligent and responsible in getting into the counseling, taking care of this case. Financially, you can save her, several $100s over the months. We file a motion for early term on behalf of that.
Ms. Benia.
Yes, Your Honor, the plea offer in this case is correct.
All right. So it's an adjudication of guilt, $500 fine, 12-month driver's license revocation, 12 months probation, a early term after 6, provided all conditions have been satisfactorily met, DUI school, victim impact panel, 50 hours of community service, 10-day vehicle impoundment, no alcohol, substance abuse evaluation, follow recommendations, random testing, court costs, and costs of prosecution. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is your request, Mr. Mangone?
Requesting 6 months probation, Your Honor, with the possibility of early termination after.
Response to that, Ms. Benia?
Judge, because this is a DUI first offense, the state is willing to leave it open, and when the defendant is finished completing conditions, I'm guessing her or Attorney Mangone can file a motion to early term and we can address it then.
All right, so you're saying that you would agree to 12 months probation and then may early term it anytime conditions are complete?
Yes, Judge.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Did you get that changed, Tommy?
I did.
Okay. All right. You have some paperwork for me? Ms. Miller, will you raise your right hand to be sworn by the clerk?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Will you state your name for the record? And you can put your hand down. Thank you. All right. And what is your date of birth?
September 5th, 2009.
All right. And did you have any questions about the terms of the agreement that we just put on the record? Do you have any additional questions for your attorney before you enter your plea? Do you wish to accept the plea offer? Are you pleading guilty or no contest? I have a plea form in front of me. Is this your signature on this form? And by signing it, you've indicated that you've read it or it's been explained to you. Did you understand all of the rights listed on this form? And you understand that you're waiving those rights by entering your plea today? Do you understand that your plea will be used against you in a deportation proceeding if you're not a United States citizen? Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication? Are you currently suffering from any mental illness? Are you satisfied with your attorney's advice? Has he done everything that you've requested? Do you understand that DUI is an enhanceable offense, meaning if you're convicted of this crime in the future, you could be facing higher fines, higher penalties, more jail time, or possible longer loss of a driver's license? And knowing that, you still wish to enter your plea? Ms. Bonilla, any additional questions from you?
No, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, will you stipulate to venue and a factual basis for the plea?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Miller, I'll accept your plea, find it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered upon a factual basis and in your best interest, adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to 12 months of probation, impose a $500 fine, a 12-month driver's license revocation. You must complete the appropriate DUI school, 1 victim impact panel, 50 hours of community service, a 10-day vehicle impoundment. There would be a no alcohol provision. That means you cannot have alcohol in your residence. You cannot go anywhere that primarily sells alcohol, such as bars, taverns, saloons, or packaged liquor stores, and you may not consume alcohol while on probation. You must undergo a substance abuse evaluation, follow all recommendations, and you'll be subject to random testing at your own expense. All court costs, including costs of prosecution, will be imposed. You'll need to check in with probation today before you leave the courthouse, and I'm going to have you step over here to be fingerprinted.
Your Honor, and upon completion of all the terms and conditions of probation, she may terminate early.
You may file the appropriate motion for that. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Judge, I believe ASA Stewart is waiting in the waiting room on your Zoom account.
All right. Give me just a minute.
I'm in the room now, Judge. I'm not.
Okay. Give me just a minute, Mr. Stewart. Let's go back to Ms. Armpriester. Arturo Martinez, case number 20MM1994. Mr. Stewart, Ms. Armpriester has indicated that her client is in custody and would like to provide testimony for her motion. Any objection to continuing that to 2:15?
No objection.
All right, we'll continue Mr. Martinez's case to 2:15. Ms. Armpriester, if you'll make sure to file a notice of hearing and send that to jail records so that they know. Very good. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Stewart.
I'll see you at 2:15.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let me go to Mr. Casassa, who's in the courtroom. Good morning.
Buenos dias, Judge. I've got Justin Peck.
All right. Case number 20MM962.
Judge, I've worked to negotiate through the state. We agree agreed that in exchange for plea count 1, count 2 will be no pros. We've
All right.
agreed to a withhold adjudication on the trespass charge. No trespass at Stonebridge Country Club, 2100 Winding Oaks Way, Naples, Florida 34109. Court costs and costs of prosecution, I would ask the court for 90 days to pay.
That was Stonebridge Country Club,
Stonebridge Country Club.
2100 Winding Oaks Way.
Yes, sir. 34109.
Ms. Bonilla, is that correct?
Your Honor, the plea offer in this case is correct. The state is willing to no pros count 2 in exchange for the defendant's plea to count 1.
All right. Mr. Pack, will you raise your right hand to be sworn by the clerk?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Thank you.
Will you state your name
Justin Pack,
and your date of birth?
May 29th, 1998.
And Mr. Pack, did you hear the offer that was just placed on the record?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about that offer?
No, Your Honor.
Is that the offer you wish to accept to resolve your case today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I have a plea form in front of me. Is this your signature on this form?
Yes, sir.
And by signing it, you've indicated that you've read it or it's been explained to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand all of the rights listed on that form?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand that you're waiving those rights by entering your plea today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that your plea will be used against you in a deportation proceeding if you're not a United States citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, Your Honor.
Are you suffering from any mental illness?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's advice?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he done everything that you've requested?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bonilla, any additional questions from you?
No additional questions, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Casassa, will you stipulate to venue and a factual basis for the plea?
I would just.
All right, Mr. Pack, I'll accept your plea. Find it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered upon a factual basis and in your best interest. As it relates to count 1, I'll withhold adjudication, impose all court costs, including costs of prosecution. I'll give you 90 days to pay those costs. If you need more time than that, you'll need to work out a payment arrangement with the clerk prior to the end of 90 days. And I'm going to order that you not trespass at Stonebridge Country Club, located at 2100 Winding Oaks Way in Naples, Florida. I'm going to have you step right over here to be fingerprinted. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Casassa. Announcement as to count 2, Ms. Bonilla. Ms. Bonilla.
Sorry, Your Honor. The state would like to announce a no pros.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Have Ms. Woodley in the courtroom. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. I apologize. I was having problems logging into Zoom. I'm not sure why I couldn't get in this morning, so hope it's okay. I came in person.
That's fine.
I am here today for Vincent Brown. The state filed a motion in case 501.
All right, Ms. Bonilla, I believe this is your motion.
Judge, can I get a case number for the case, Your Honor? I apologize.
20 CT 2351, Vincent Oliver Brown. State's motion for leave of court to subpoena medical records and EMS records.
Yes, Judge, the state would like to, the state did file its motion to subpoena medical records last week. The defendant's been, the defendant was arrested for driving under the influence 2 months ago, and the state is asking to subpoena medical records as it relates to the investigation of the actual charge. And so we're asking that because he was seen by EMS and he was seen by hospital staff, we're asking that the motion be granted so that we can subpoena medical records as it relates to the investigation.
Any response, Ms. Woodley?
Yes, Your Honor. So, to be clear, the motion that I read is asking for all the records from the EMS. The state has the burden to prove the relevancy to this case, and they have not done so.
I'm sorry, Judge, can she repeat that last part? She was in and out. I couldn't hear her.
Is there basically, what's the nexus between your request and the facts?
Correct.
Well, Judge, he was seen by medical staff due to other issues that were happening in the other that were happening during the investigation. Without pre-trying the case, Your Honor, there were health concerns along with him being under the influence of certain barbiturates and maybe alcohol. So we would like to subpoena those medical records as it relates to the whole entire investigation and other items that were found on the defendant. So at this time, Your Honor, we're just asking that you grant the motion so that we can continue to look into this case further, because it does relate to the actual facts of the case.
All right.
If I can respond again.
Okay.
There has not been any, there's nothing showing any relevancy besides my client getting in an accident and EMS responding to an accident. There's nothing relevant to a DUI investigation to the EMS responding to merely a car accident.
Well, didn't he conduct field sobriety exercises after the crash?
Afterwards.
All right. I find there is a nexus between the state's request and the facts of the case. I'm going to grant the state's motion to subpoena medical records, EMS records, and communicate with medical professionals that were involved. Ms. Bonilla, do you have a proposed order?
I do have a proposed order, Your Honor. I was wondering if I can email it to you and Ms. Woodley and have Ms. Woodley take a look at it, or would you like me to email it to the JA?
Yeah, email it to Ms. Woodley, and then once you've agreed on the order, you can email that to my judicial assistant.
Not a problem, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, it looks like Mr. Brown has another case with Ms. Woodley today.
That's correct. In 20 MM194E, there's no motion in that case. Not that I'm aware of anyway.
Motion for statement of particulars.
Was that also scheduled for today? My apologies. I did file a motion for statement of particulars.
Yes, it's noticed for today also.
That's right. Okay.
So let's go back for a moment. Let's go back to the other case, 20 CT 2351. That's scheduled for a pretrial conference on Thursday. Do we want to go ahead and have that now?
That's fine. If I can get a continuance to the next pretrial docket, I don't actually not sure when that is.
February 25th.
If I can get the February 25th date.
Any objection to that, Ms. Bonilla?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, we'll continue case number 20 CT 2351 to the pretrial conference date of February 25th at 9 o'clock, and we'll go ahead and cancel this week's pretrial. Okay. All right, now let's address Mr. Brown's other case, 20 MM1948.
And thank you, Your Honor, for that reminder. In 20 MM1948, there were multiple items found in that case and information filed. It wasn't clear what they were moving forward with on the paraphernalia. So I would ask that the state clarify and update the information and what they're moving forward on in that charge.
Ms. Bonilla, response?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, is defense counsel asking why we filed the information for 19MM1948?
No, Ms. Bonilla. The defendant's motion is a statement of particulars in which it states that the information does not state what item is alleged to be paraphernalia. The officer removed items from the defendant's pocket as well as items from the car. We ask that and information, or in this case, a statement of particulars is filed so the defense knows what to defend against?
Judge, the state filed, I'm looking at this motion now because I didn't, just trying to figure out. The alleged paraphernalia, Your Honor, was the, we're providing it in discovery today. It should be provided, but it was, if you look at the information that was filed along with the booking sheet, the defendant had a straw that tested positive for cocaine. So it was not only the straw that was tested positive, but also what was in his pocket, which was the cocaine that tested positive. So there were two things. We're charging him based on the straw that was found on him at the time he was undergoing this investigation, along with the driving under the influence charge.
So the paraphernalia is the straw and what else?
It is the straw, and along with, I believe it was the small clear baggie on the driver floor with the white residue. So those are the two things in which were found in the vehicle with the defendant, along with on his person. So the straw was in his left pocket and the small clear baggie was in the vehicle. Both were tested and he tested positive for cocaine.
All right. So are you agreeing to file a statement of particulars stating that?
I believe so, Your Honor. If defense counsel can just give me until the end of the day to have it filed with the court, I can make sure that's filed as soon as possible.
All right.
And if I file a Daubert motion or this goes to trial, just to be clear, you're planning on going forward with either or?
I do not believe we're going forward with the possession of marijuana. I do believe we're moving forward on the possession of paraphernalia. I had assumed that the information reflected that.
Ms. Bonilla, I think what Ms. Woodley is asking is you're going for the bag and or the straw?
Yes,
for
Your
the
Honor.
paraphernalia charge. Okay.
Understood.
All right. All right, I'll grant the motion for statement of particulars and order the state to file a statement based on their disclosure here today. This case is also set for pretrial on Thursday. Would like to go ahead and address that?
Yes, Your Honor. If we can move this to the February 25th pretrial date, I would greatly appreciate that.
All right, any objection?
Objection, Your Honor.
All right, we'll continue it to February 25th at 9 o'clock and go ahead and cancel this week's pretrial. Any other cases we can address for you, Ms. Woodley?
Not that I know of.
I don't see any more. All right, thank you, Ms. Woodley. Have a good afternoon or good morning also.
Good morning.
All right, let me go to Mr. Brown. Good morning. You may.
Good morning, Judge. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, except for I can't resolve a simple case for you here that's getting old on your docket. Mr. Corin is a firefighter in Wasilla, Alaska. So we had a little difficulty getting some plea and absentia stuff back and forth. He did get the executed documents back to me. Unfortunately, the way he printed it up, it's missing his actual signature. It has the notarization of his signature. It has a fingerprint card. So we're trying to get in touch with him, just asking him to print that page again and send it back.
Okay.
I'm assuming the court probably wouldn't want to accept it without a signature, even though there is a notary attesting to the signature, which is kind of funny. If the court would grant me another continuance, I will make it a priority, Judge.
Okay. Let me look at my calendar. How February 23rd at 9 o'clock?
Seems like it should be enough time, even from Alaska. We do have the internet, so.
Right. Any objection, Ms. Bonilla?
No objection, Your Honor. What was that date again?
February 23rd at 9 o'clock?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. That's all I have.
All right, very good. Thank you, Mr. Brown. February 23rd at 9 o'clock for a plea and abstention. All right, let me go to Ms. Maurer.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I have Alexander Bazidlo. It was to be a plea this morning,
Okay.
and I e-filed it at the last minute. He came in this morning, signed everything. So it's in the system. However, I'm asking for a continuance because one of the conditions on the plea in absentia is 60 days of sober length. And I was just informed that he takes a cancer medication that contains alcohol. And I need to make sure with the sober length folks up in Sarasota that this won't cause a false positive.
Right, I understand. All right. Has been any objection for a continuance?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, why don't we go to that February 23rd date at 9 o'clock for a plea in absentia?
Okay,
Will that work for you, Ms. Maurer?
that's fine.
All right, February 23rd at 9 o'clock for a plea in absentia.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, that should give you enough time in case you need to work out a little bit of a different agreement.
Yep, that sounds great. Thank you.
Okay. All right,
All
thank
right,
you.
bye.
All right, let me go to Ms. Orange.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Ruth Orange on behalf of Jean Muzo.
All right, 20CP620.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Muzo came by last week. He signed the plea in absentia, and I have his fingerprints. I, however, have not been at the office to sign the plea in absentia and scan and email it over to the to Ms. Bonilla so that she could review prior to me filing it. If we could just set this briefly out, I should be in the office sometime this week and I can get that done. And I apologize to the court.
Okay.
Judge, the state has no objection.
How about, do you think you can get it done by January 29th?
Sure, I can do that with a waiver.
All right. All right, let's continue it to January 29th at 9 o'clock for a plea in absentia.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Orange. You too. All right. Let me go to Mr. Levy.
Good morning, Your Honor. William Levy. I have two cases on the docket. If you want to start with Mr. Pittman, we can go alphabetically. Charles Hudson Pittman, case 20MM1005. This is a motion for the return of property. Your Honor, this case resolved by diversion. He was offered diversion and he accepted the contract on August 4th. The case he successfully completed. The case was null prost on December 11th, 2020. He was required as a condition of his bond in the first appearance order to turn over 2 of his firearms to the sheriff's office. They were not related in any way to the offense. It was just part of the no firearms order. We're just requesting the court grant our motion to return the defendant's property. There are 2 firearms in question, a Ruger 38 revolver and a Ruger 9mm pistol.
All right. State's response?
Judge, the state has no objection to the motion. I believe Collier County Sheriff's Office was also noticed for today's hearing. They have not reached out to our office, so we're assuming there's no objection on their end. So the state has no issue.
All right, defendant's motion for return of property is granted. Mr. Levy, you'll send over a proposed over to my judicial assistant?
I will, Your Honor. We'll take care of it today. Thank you.
All right.
Judge, next on the docket, I have Joseph Mays. This is case 2020 MM1802. Judge, this is a motion for Mr. Mays is present. He's there on Zoom. I've asked him to mute his microphone for now. We're not going to be taking any testimony. He just wanted to appear to show that he's participating in the case.
Okay.
Your Honor, we're requesting to get the subpoena ducis tecum to get the surveillance video or potential surveillance video from the Mercado. This altercation occurred on, one moment, Judge, I believe in November 5th of 2020 and outside of the Blue Martini Bar and Restaurant. If you notice in Officer White's probable cause affidavit, the 5th paragraph down, the first couple of sentences indicate, I'm not sure there was an actual trespass that occurred here. He did leave the property and then he turned around as if motioning to go back towards the property. However, ultimately was arrested before he ever got to the Blue Martini. So essentially he complied with the request by law enforcement and the management of the Blue Martini to leave. So I think that video will be instructive in terms of what exactly occurred. And without it, I mean, to be frank, to the court and to the state, we're going to be filing a C4 motion unless that video shows something directly different than what occurred, because I'm not sure a trespass occurred here.
Okay. Are you just seeking surveillance footage from Blue Martini, not from any of the other?
I'm seeking also, Judge, for our intention was to just notice the Mercado. I believe there are surveillance cameras that are outside that they are in control of, not the Blue Martini specifically. Those are the cameras we'd be interested in, because as you know, Judge, there's multiple properties in that kind of Bermuda Triangle of bars. And we believe that the correct videos are going to be controlled by the Mercado, not by the Blue Martini. If there's an issue, we can always remotion the court for a different subpoena.
All right, state's response?
Judge, we were notified, and I believe I did inform defense counsel that Blue Martini does not have the video surveillance from the incident that took place regarding this case. However, there is sworn statements from the officers as well as Blue Martini and the managers that worked that night on what happened. At this point in time, if defense counsel is going to file a C4 motion, then it's the state's recommendation that if he chooses to take depositions, I'm more than willing to work with defense counsel on doing that. But all of the witnesses listed by the state are available to testify for trial should this case proceed to trial. But at this time, there's no video surveillance from that night. This case started back in November. Defense counsel is now just asking for video surveillance. Usually video surveillance is, cancel out within 24 to 48 hours. So we're just asking, Your Honor, that defense counsel's motion, in considering it, it be denied, and I'll just continue working with Mr. Leve to resolve the case.
Well, Ms. Bonilla, you mentioned Blue Martini surveillance video, and that's not what's being requested. What's being requested is surveillance video from the Mercado itself.
Right, from where the incident happened, Your Honor, around the parameters of Blue Martini, I apologize. There is no surveillance video from where the incident occurred throughout the whole Mercado. There's no surveillance video. I do have in-car video, and that has been disclosed to Mr. Leve, but there's no other surveillance video that exists.
Judge, if I may respond briefly.
You may.
So this is the first, Ms. Bonilla is representing accurately that she did tell me that the state was looking to get video from Blue Martini. However, again, as Your Honor has pointed out, that is correct. We're not at this time requesting Blue Martini video. We're going to send the subpoena directly to the management of the Mercado. I don't know what the representation is as to how long they keep the video. I've discussed that with my client. We understand that it may not be there, but I think we have an obligation as a defense to try to get that evidence, specifically considering the facts of the trespass. And Ms. Bonilla is right. There were statements and sworn testimony from witnesses requiring him to leave, and he did in fact leave after some protest, but ultimately he did leave. So that's why the video is going to be so important, is because if it does exist, it will show where exactly he was when he was arrested.
All right, defendant's motion to issue subpoena ducis tecum to the Mercado is granted. Mr. Levy, you'll send over the appropriate orders for that.
Thank you, Judge. I will, and I will copy Ms. Bonilla. I'll send her a copy of the order prior, just for her review, and then we will proceed from there.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Mays, for joining us.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well.
Thank you. All right. Let me go to Mr. Verderamo.
Morning, Judge. I have two on the docket. I think they'll be pretty quick.
Okay.
Anthony Long, 20mm 1924. It's a motion for return of property. Mr. Long was arrested on November 27th. The state then subsequently no-filed on the case on December 10th for a battery misdemeanor. As a condition of his bond, he was to surrender his firearm. The alleged firearm was not used in the commission of the offense, and we're requesting that the sheriff's office return the firearm back to Mr. Long.
All right, state's response.
Judge, state has no objection. I believe CCSO was noticed on this hearing today. We didn't hear anything from their office, therefore the state has no objection.
All right, defendant's motion for return of property is granted. Mr. Verderamo, you'll send over a proposed over to my judicial assistant.
Judge, I sent one on the 14th. I don't know if you have resend it or no.
No, if you already sent it, you don't need to resend it. I'll check with Julianne on that.
Okay, great. Thank you. My other case is Harrison Scudder. It's 20 mm 877. This is a request to expunge Mr. Scudder's record. Mr. Scudder was arrested for the charge of breach of peace, disorderly conduct. That charge was dismissed by the state. They did not elect to prosecute Mr. Scudder, and the appropriate petition has been filed, as well as the FDLE response indicating that Mr. Scudder is eligible to expunge, in all capitals underlined by FDLE. I have a supporting affidavit indicating that Mr. Scudder has never applied for an expunge. The $42 check has been sent to Madam Clerk on December 23rd, and we requested the court enter the order granting the request to expunge Mr. Scudder's record.
Any response from the state?
Judge, no objection to the motion to expunge.
All right, I do see that all the appropriate documents have been filed. The $42 has been paid. The petition to expunge is granted.
I also sent an order as well.
Okay.
I'll follow up with your assistant.
Okay, I'm sure she's got it and she'll upload it for me to sign.
Very good. Have a good day.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Verderamo. Have a good day.
Bye, you too. Bye, Ms. Bonet.
Goodbye.
All right, that leaves 3 cases left on the docket. Were those all set at 9?
Yes, they were.
Okay, Ms. Bonilla, we'll go into recess until the other attorneys join us. That would be Mr. Amster, Mr. Gregoza, and Mr. Delamar.
No problem, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We're back on the record. Ms. Bonilla, are you present?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
All right, I've got Mr. Gregoza in the courtroom, case number 20MM843. Mr. Gregoza, I apologize if my judicial assistant called you. I didn't realize yours was set for 10.
Well, the problem I have is this is for a plea.
Okay.
Ms. Denz is sick, and she has a fever, and I don't want her anymore now, so I'm just gonna have to reschedule this.
Okay.
You don't have the court, does the court happen to have the dates? I could get the plea date now.
Yes, I will. Let me check here. I could do February 23rd. Does that work?
I don't have a date for, but that should be February 23rd.
Okay, I'm gonna do 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. All right, any objection, Ms. Bonilla?
No, Your Honor, is this being set for a plea?
For a plea?
Yes.
No problem, Your Honor.
All right, February 23rd at 9 o'clock for a plea. Thank you, Mr. Gregoza. All right, and I've got Mr. Delamar via Zoom. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
And you're here on Emmanuel Vasquez Perez, case number 20 CT 1904.
That's correct, Your Honor. If I may?
Yes.
We were supposed to appear in person and plea out today. I have been unable to reach my client. I've sent him 2 correspondence via regular mail, and he hasn't answered. I'd hate for this honorable court to issue a bench warrant. Therefore, we would respectfully request a continuance to afford me the opportunity to see if I could find him. And if not, then I'm going to have to respectfully move to withdraw at a next hearing, if subject to your honor's approval.
Right. What was the plea offer in this case?
Judge, the plea offer at this time, if the defendant was to fix his driver's license, the state would be willing to amend the charges to a no valid driver's license, which would have been an adjudication of guilt, court costs, and cost of prosecution. But if the defendant has not fixed their driver's license, the offer will remain the same. The charge will remain the same, and the state's plea offer would be an adjudication of guilt, a $250 fine, and court costs and cost of prosecution.
Okay, give me one moment. All right, my computer's locked up. Give me one moment. All right. Mr. Delamar, what type of continuance are you requesting? How far out?
Your Honor, I would just respectfully request 2 weeks. That's more than enough time for me to send him one last letter. And if he doesn't answer, then there's nothing else I could do, Judge.
Ms. Bonilla?
Judge, the state has no objection to the continuance.
All right, well, let's go to, I don't have anything 2 weeks out, so I'm gonna give you a little bit more time, Mr. Delamar. February 23rd at 9 o'clock, we'll set that for a plea. If you wanna do that as a plea in absentia, that's fine. If you can get a hold of Mr. Vasquez Perez, we can do the plea in absentia or plea in person.
Great, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks, likewise, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, that leaves Mr. Amster's case. All right, let me see if I can get Mr. Amster on the phone.
Welcome to the message center. Please enter a mailbox number or wait. Please try again later. Goodbye.
Okay. Let's try another one.
Welcome to the message center. Please enter. Please try again. Please try again. That is not a valid mailbox number. Goodbye.
Great. Do you have any contact information for Mr. Amster, Ms. Bonilla?
Let me check the system, Your Honor. I don't know if this was the number you dialed, but we have 305-389-9015.
Give me that number again.
305-389-9015.
Right.
Reached Attorney Stephen Amster. At the sound of the tone, please record your name, number, and a brief message, and he will return your call.
Good morning, this is Collier County Judge Blake Adams. Today is Tuesday, January 19th. It is 10 after 10 in the morning. Mr. Amster was scheduled for a case before me at 9 o'clock in case number 2015 CT 3122, defendant's name Alexis Barkley. Please have him call me at 239-252-8747. Thank you. What was this case set for, Ms. Bonilla?
Judge, this case was set for a plea. However, this was the last continuance. If a plea and abstention was not to be filed, the state would ask for a bench warrant. This case has been pending in your court now for quite some time.
What was the offer to resolve this case?
Let me see what Mr. Cabrera's note was. The amended plea offer, Your Honor, was an adjudication of guilt, 20 days jail, or court costs and cost of prosecution. And if that was not accepted, an adjudication of guilt, 12 months probation, where the defendant may early term upon completion of conditions, which would have been 20 days weekend work or weekend lockdown, 50 hours of community service, where they can buy out, and time to obtain a valid driver's license, and court cost and cost of prosecution. I'm not sure. I think he was supposed to set it for an open plea to the court. His client was supposed to be present. I'm not sure what happened today. So he was supposed to do the weekend work offer. That was confirmed back in December, Your Honor. And today, I guess we're having an issue.
All right, I'll tell you what, Ms. Bonilla, I'm going to continue it to 2:15.
Your Honor.
And I'll give Mr. Amster an opportunity to appear there. We'll send you the Zoom codes for the 2:15 docket.
No problem, Your Honor.
Mr. Amster or Mr. Barkley don't appear, then I'll issue a bench warrant.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bonilla. I'll see you this afternoon then.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Thank you, you too. Take care.